Hey, what is going on, guys? Worst Trends here. I'm actually really glad you guys could join me today because I really wanted to take a look at the Amazing Digital Circus. Now, if you're watching this video and you haven't seen the Amazing Digital Circus yet, then what are you doing? The Amazing Digital Circus may just be the best web series I have ever seen. There's only one episode out so far, and it already rivals absolutely everything. If you're a fan of the Object Show 1, then you are going to love this thing. In fact, the Amazing Digital Circus is so good, it makes 1 look like post-split. Yeah, I have watched this thing every day since it's released. It's that good. Bro, I am begging you at this point. You have to watch it. There's no reason not to. It is by far the greatest thing I've ever witnessed. I would sacrifice my life. From now on, I'm just gonna assume that you already watched the thing and just want to hear my thoughts on it. If that's the case, thank you. I'm glad you care enough about me to want to hear what I have to say. It means a lot. Wow, I am getting very sidetracked. Let's just start the video already. The episode starts off with an old PC game aesthetic. Wow, I wonder why. First thing I noticed, this music's amazing. It swells as the bad graphics transition into beautiful CG and the camera zooms into a circus tent. We're immediately introduced to this guy Kane, and as we learn later, he has control over almost everything in this world. His sidekick or henchman or whatever, named Bubble, pulls up in the 2-star intro song, which, not gonna lie, is absolute fire. It basically introduces the main characters, which I'll get to later. And then we get to our first bit of weirdness, when the part of the song that says day after day keeps repeating. The intro keeps going until it's interrupted by our main character, Pomni, appearing out of thin air. The very first thing she sees is an exit door, which promptly disappears. Yeah, whatever, it's probably not important. Yeah, she bumps into the gang and totally ruins everything. Everyone gets to talking, and Pomni claims to have put on a headset that she can no longer take off.
Just keep grabbing at it. That works for all of us.
I think you get what's going on already, but I'll keep pretending like you don't. Pomni gets introduced to this reality where all these other guys, except Kane and Bubble, are in the same boat as her. They all put on some headset and got trapped there years ago. This guy named Kinger has apparently been there the longest. Because of that, he's pretty much insane.
Did someone say something about an insect collection?
Some other characters we have are Gangle, who's like this comedy tragedy mask person, but the comedy mask got broken earlier, so now she's just sad. There's Jax, and he's the resident prankster, and by that I mean he's a horrible person, heckling Pomni when she thinks she's dreaming. Don't get me wrong though, I think he's hilarious, although he's probably only my 3rd favorite character. Here's the ranking. Zooble is like this Mr. Potato Head character whose body parts can separate. I think it's a cool idea, but she probably has my least favorite design out of everyone. I just think it's not human enough, which I know is the point, but I feel like it might be harder to get emotionally invested in her later down the line. The last character to talk about is Ragatha. She's the most level-headed and normal person in the group, so my guess is that she's the most recent person to get trapped. Aside from Pomni, of course. Oh yeah, there's also this Kaufmo guy who didn't show up for the theme song. We'll see him later though, trust me. But before Pomni can even begin to comprehend what's going on, Kane takes her on a tour of the world. Alright, what do we got? Okay, so we got a circus tent where whatever happens. A lake, okay, and a carnival. That's it. Beyond this little island is an endless void. It's so mysterious that Kane says he doesn't even know what's out there. But before they head back though, Pomni gets another glimpse at an exit door, before being teleported back to the tent. She brings it up to the others, but apparently not a single one of them has ever seen an exit door before. All except for Kaufmo, apparently. Kinger says that he's been rambling about it the last time he saw him. But never mind that, it's naming time! Pomni can't remember her real name, or any memories for that matter. So Kane gives her a new name, which is Pomni. She did not have a name before that. But before anything else can happen, Kane introduces a new adventure called Gather the Gloinks! Basically, there's these shape guys that grab stuff, and they've got to try to stop them. Kane leaves, and everyone eventually splits off into 2 groups. Gangle and Kinger will go deal with the adventure, while Jax, Ragatha, and Pomni go to check on Kaufmo. He was the guy missing from the intro earlier. Oh yeah, and Zooble died. Pomni's group goes down a hallway where everyone has a room. There's a bunch of doors with crossed out pictures on them, and you'll see why in a minute. Ragatha explains that the adventures are something to do that keeps you from reaching a breaking point, And apparently something really bad will happen if you do. But anyway, they reach Kaufmo's room, and when they open the door, we see this. This, my friends, is Kaufmo. Remember like 3 seconds ago when I said reaching a breaking point leads to something terrible happening? Well, this is what happens. Kaufmo went insane trying to find an exit and abstracted into this form. And enough beating around the bush. This is why those doors were crossed off.
Nice job, team.
Ragatha gets completely destroyed. And Pomni gets chased but eventually loses Kaufmo. She goes back to check on Ragatha. She got destroyed, remember? She's glitching and tells Pomni to go find Kane. Yeah, apparently Kane is super powerful. He even says himself that there's only a few things he can't control, one of which being people's minds. Back to the other guys though. They stumble across the pit the Glinks have been taking everything. Jax runs into them and they head down to see. Okay, what is this now? This is the Gloink's queen, and it starts monologuing or whatever. Oh yeah, Zubul dies again.
Hey! King are you, mother...
The Gloink's queen is about to kill them or something when Kaufmo starts slamming at the ground and falls right on top of the queen. Now absolute havoc is being wreaked in this area. And what does everyone do? They just go up the escalator. Why are you looking at me like that? Wouldn't you do the same thing? Now that this plotline is good and done with, let's go see what Pomni is up to again. For the 3rd time in a row now, Pomni sees an exit door. No one else in the circus has ever even had a glimpse at this thing, and now Pomni has it right in front of her. Of course she goes in, but she's only met with some sort of waiting room, and another door labeled exit. Entering that, she finds just a regular room, along with another exit door. Again and again and again. After every door is another room and another door. Panic sets in. Room after room after room. There's no sign of a true exit. Nothing but offices and waiting rooms and hallways. Until one room, where an old computer sits. At this point, I really want to talk about how fantastic the animation is for this show. Like, it's really good. TV show worthy. Everything's so fluid and weighted. There's so many little details too, like when Pomni skids on the ground, or whenever her eyelids twitch. Stuff like that is just a really nice touch. But what really makes this show shine is its character expressions. As a 3D show, you wouldn't expect the animators to go off model too much, but you'd be dead wrong. Almost every time a character talks, their expressions perfectly match what they're saying and are super smooth to boot. Like, look at Jax. This may just be a testament to his fantastic design, but his mouth just slides around his face, and his teeth always make him look like he's got some mischievous grin, which fits his character perfectly. Same thing with Gangle. Her face is animated in 2D, and it's really great. But it's especially effective on Pomni. This whole exit scene, her facial expressions just keep getting pushed more and more as she edges closer to insanity. Another really good thing about this show is the voice acting. Everyone does an amazing job voicing their characters, and their designs match their voices perfectly. And it's not just that. These guys really go above and beyond at times. In the scene we left off at, when Pomni sees the computer, the voice actor could have just done your average. But instead, we get this. Yeah, it's weird and a little disturbing maybe, but that's what it's like to go insane. I mean, I think so anyway. Get back with me in a few months and I'll let you know. Pomni is right about to reach her breaking point. She reaches for the final door, and... Pomni reached the void. But something's different from last time. Pomni is put in some kind of trance as the void flows around her. Back in the tent, Kane gets an alert and takes her out, only to see the devastation caused by Kaufmo. The other guys catch up and fill Kane in. He uses his powers and lifts Kaufmo, only to send him into the cellar. Ragatha comes back and gets fixed up just like she said. Kane says that he built the exit but never finished it, which really raises some questions about his role in all this. But we'll get into that in a minute, because everyone is given a feast as a reward for completing the adventure. And it's here where we get the single greatest scene in YouTube animation history. Kanger starts going on about the digital world as the music for the theme song starts playing, only this time a somber and orchestral rendition. It keeps building and building. Pomni, sitting at the table, finally has room to breathe for the first time since she got there. It is finally time to comprehend what's happening. Suddenly, the weight of everything crashes in on her. She'll be stuck here forever. Forever until she reaches her breaking point, abstracts, and is locked inside of the cellar for eternity. It's the fate that every single one of the people here will eventually meet. There's no stopping it. There's no going home. And there's no escape. Oh, that's pretty cute. But, come on, why does everyone always have to make plushes? YouTubers should start making figures. I need more plastic in my life. Who am I kidding? I'm probably gonna end up buying Pomni. I just hate buying YouTuber merch, because I always have to explain it to whoever walks in the room. What is this? Oh, actually, it's this, what is this? No, really, it's, so, like, you see there's, like, this, what is this? No, really, it's not, it's, that's it! You're sleeping outside tonight. Oh, look, my package is here. Wait, what am I even talking about right now? This is a review. Okay, we've got a lot to unpack here, so let's just start with the overall lore. Firstly, let's talk about Kane. Kane is pretty interesting because it's hard to tell if he's an AI that was built into the game, or just another person that got stuck there. You might immediately argue that he's just part of the game, but we really don't know for sure. Another thing about Kane is that he's definitely not a villain, and here's why. Kane puts on these adventures for the characters, but they're not for his own amusement like you might expect. The moment the adventure starts in this episode, he leaves, and he only returns once it's over. The reason he puts on the adventures is just like Ragatha said.
Above anything else, the adventures give us something to do that keeps our minds healthy and stimulated.
Okay, I hear you say. But if Kane's such a good guy, then why doesn't he make an exit for them? He said himself that he just never bothered finishing it. Well, my theoretical friend, now's the time I pull a Matt Pat and make a huge leap in logic. Because Kane is the developer of the game. Back when Pomni was in the exit rooms, a large C and A logo was seen on the ceiling. Maybe the C stands for Kane. Kane says he never finished the exit, but he seems like he has good intentions, so why won't he finish it? Well, maybe because he can't. Anymore. What if, when he was developing the game in real life, whoever this A person is trapped him in the game before he could finish the exit? The Digital Circus was probably meant to be a game that used headset technology to transport people inside. The only way to leave was the exit door. But when Kane got trapped inside before he could finish it, there was no exit. Him being a developer also explains why he has powers and others don't. He still has control over the game world, just not anything outside of it. Look, I'll be honest, there's not a huge amount of evidence supporting this theory. And you could definitely poke holes in it. Like, the way Kane glitches out that one time definitely suggests he's an AI. But if my theory ends up being true, then, I don't know, you owe me $5 or something. Alright guys, I'm just gonna add this in here real quick because, I just found this while I was editing. I was looking at Gooseworks' Tumblr and I found this post here where someone asked if the moon was an AI like Kane or a human. And Gooseworks specifically clarified that the AI was like Bubble. So the moon, sun, the mannequins, and Bubble, they are all in some way different from Kane. Kane is special for some reason. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if that means anything. I just want to say something, so cool. Although I will say that I'm way more interested in the characters in the show than the actual game itself. Well, that's about all I have for lore, but I still want to discuss some of the predictions I have for this series. Boom, episode 2. Pomni's walking to her room and sees Bubble painting an X on Kaufmo's door. I swear to God, if that's actually how the next episode opens, then I'm actually a genius. In all seriousness, though, I think we all know that at least one of these guys is going to get abstracted by the end of the show. My guess is Ragatha. She seems to be the most innocent character and has the biggest bond with Pomni, the main character. She's also the only one so far to actually freak out about the situation at all. I mean, really think about it, the other guys seem perfectly fine. Except Kingler, but nobody's gonna shed any tears if he goes. Speaking of abstraction though, I doubt this is the last time we'll see Kaufmo. I wouldn't be surprised if someone ended up falling into the cellar at some point. I can definitely see all these guys escaping eventually. I don't want to sound like I worship this show or anything, but I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I mean, it does everything really well. It sets up the world and how it works, and what happens when you reach a breaking point in a world that makes you go insane. Every joke lands. The music is fantastic. And the horror is actually portrayed really well. I mean, if I really had to find things I don't like, in this one scene, there's a weird dot on Jax's face. This one line Pomni has is delivered a little weirdly.
What's going on?
I'm really trying, guys. Oh, wait. When Jax breaks the spare board, one of the halves disappears. Oh, that really ticked me off. No, but really, the Amazing Digital Circus is, well, amazing. It has so much potential and can balance horror and comedy really well, which is more than I can say for Murder Drones. I watched a few episodes, so I guess it's only fair if I give it a quick review.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Well, that's all I have to talk about, really. This video was supposed to be a brief 5-minute review, but I just can't keep my mouth shut. I heard somewhere that the next episode is supposed to come out in like 6 months. If that's true, then that's really fast for this level of animation. I cannot wait until this new episode comes out, because this series has already become one of the best. Okay guys, originally I was going to end the video there on the high note that the episode deserves. I started working on this video only a few days after the pilot released, and I think it's safe to say a lot has changed since then. And I feel like I can't make a video on this without addressing some of that. If you guys know anything about the Amazing Digital Circus, it's that it's somehow already found itself in controversy. Firstly, this is the fastest growing fandom I have ever seen on the internet. Within only a few days of the episode's release, there were already comics, fan art, and of course, people trying to ruin everything. First, there was this whole thing with Kanger's voice actor, which I won't even begin to talk about. Then there's this whole R34 and shipping drama that's been going on since practically day one. Gooseworks is fine with it, but it's causing a lot of fights to break out within the fandom. And most recently, Jax's and Kane's voice actors were given the AI treatment. And then that escalated pretty fast. As of October 31st, this video already has 50 million views, and I predict it to be well over 150 by the time the year ends. When something gets this popular, a lot of people are going to start milking it for money. This has already started with that YouTube Kids Garden of Ban type stuff, and even though it's not the fans that are actually doing it, it makes the fandom look bad, just like it did with FNAF. Look, I'm really sorry we have to end this video on such a sour mood, but I feel like what I'm about to say is pretty important. It's not often something this genuinely great emerges from the internet, and if everyone keeps tearing each other apart over these things are only going to get worse. So please, try to keep this fandom safe and positive, because if we don't, then it's going to be our fault for the death of the Amazing Digital Circus.